Picture this for a moment. Hundreds of clients, lakhs of customers, 40 plus crores in sales, 3,800 video testimonials, 8 plus countries, overnight the biggest sensation on the internet. And then one day, so here's the quick story. I started businesses at the age of 14 and I started with a photography business, then went to a cloth renting business, then went to a PlayStation renting business. And the whole process just kept on venting up. But there was a time when I went technically bankrupt and I was in 12th class. And after that job series that started, I started working at Teleperformance. Then I worked at PhonePe. Then I worked at Flipkart. And then finally the quote unquote, the mega job came, which was Amazon. So I was a senior support executive at Amazon. And when I joined over there, my family was very happy because 18-year-old kid technically has a job in Amazon, which gets a 3% promotion every 6 months. Through the rule of compounding, my kid is going to be very rich by the age of 30. But God had other plans. After doing that job for 2 months, I felt like this is not me. The thrill is not there. And I've seen for myself that I usually work on things that give me thrill and that give me progress personally. If I feel that something is big enough and still not giving me the thrill or the progress that I want in my life, I just quit it. That's what my rule is. So I quit Amazon job and then I started working under a business coach. And I worked 9 months over there. I learned a lot of skills. I learned copywriting, landing pages, emails, sales calls, high ticket closing, stage presence, everything. And after 9 months, I started IC. Now, if I talk about ICE, there were 3 different stages. Stage 1 was 0 to 10 lakhs, which took us 2.5, 3 years to get over there. The stage 2 was 10 lakhs to 1 CR, which took us around 10 months to get over there. And the stage 3 was 1 CR to 2.5, 3 or even 4 CR a month, which we did in, I think, 6 months. So I know it sounds very oblivious that 0 to 10 in 2.5 years and then 10 to 2.5 or 3 in next 1 year? Well, it's possible. It's because I understand exponential thinking. I understand exponential progress. When you start a business, you are over here. But with time, you just scale this much and you feel like, oh, I don't think the business works. Let me just quit. But that's where the curve is, and that's when you get the real exponential curve after this. And that's when I understood that those 3 phases have completely changed me as a personality. What I was before IC and what I am after IC is a complete change of Himanshu. I cannot even recognize a single beat or a 1% of what Himanshu was before starting IC. Technically, what happened in IC is we used to help experts and service providers. We did not started with them. We started with life coaches. Then we added business coaches. Then we added life, business and health coaches. Then we started catering to all coaches. Then we started catering to coaches and consultants. Then we started catering to coaches, consultants, authors, public speakers, and more of them. And then we started helping technically every expert out there. And once this was happening, a lot of agencies start to buy the program. They start to get results. And that's why we started working with experts and agency owners. And then a lot of IT businesses, a lot of software development companies, multiple other companies started buying the program and started getting results for themselves. And that's when we went from only life coaches to expert and service providers. Obviously, this was a 3-year journey, and that's why I say pick a niche and then build out into a broad market as you understand more about the market. We have technically helped the biggest of the biggest of the biggest coaches or influencers that you see in the market, from Finance with Sharan to Keval Kishan to Abdullah Ansari, Vinamr Kasana from Dostcast. Anyone that you see on the internet has been a part of IC, who is big enough, has been part of IC and has got results from themselves. And it was a very, very, very hard journey because I started with a 6,000 rupees per month job, then made a program of 6,000 rupees. The first program that I made is because I was just like, if I sell one program more, I'll technically double my salary. And that's what the whole idea was. So I sold the 6,000 rupees program. But the lucky part was in the first month itself, we collected 32,000 rupees. And I was just mind blown because I technically made around 5.5 months of my salary in just 1 month. And that was a mind-blowing moment because I was like, let's scale this up. We went to bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger numbers. There was times in IC when we were on the verge of bankruptcy in the first starting 2 years. And I was doing a job as well as earning IC in order to support IC and get whatever money I have and putting back into IC, putting back into ads, putting back into team, putting back into commissions in order to grow IC more. So first 2 years and 2.5 years technically were really, really, really hard. I still remember my first year revenue, I think was around 12 lakh rupees or 13 lakh rupees. But the profit I made in the whole year was less than 50,000. So technically I was getting paid less to scale the company more. But I was technically okay with that because I learned this thing of living below my expenses and living below what I can technically afford in order to put that money into the company and grow it more and more and more. They've given multiple awards to multiple people. There are 100 plus case studies recorded, uploaded on our YouTube channels. There is 3,800 video testimonials that we have by now, and there are uncountable screenshots. I used to count them in the start, but now I've left it because there are too many. I think more than 5,000 screenshots that we would have of our clients getting result. So think about this. A kid who's making 6,000 per month in a job is now having an empire of crores every month. And we just not had one company. We had multiple companies. I had a software company called Mailjar. There was another software we had which was Verify. There was an agency I used to run which is Backend Closers with around 250 employees. IC was a separate part. So we had so many companies running on, and if you accumulate the whole thing, it was crores every year. What would happen to the brain of that child? Because technically I'm a kid, I'm just 26 now. So what would happen to that child? And that's when the whole thing came as a responsibility on my shoulders, and we were running it very, very smoothly until I felt this one thing, which was the biggest questions of life start to come. You make so much money in so short of a time that you are changing your character very fast. And in that process, you lose your identity. And when you lose your identity, like who you naturally are, big questions around life start to come. What's my purpose? Is money everything? Now I made the money, I've got the fame, I've done the impact, what else? And these questions start to come, and that's what started to happen to me. And the thrill of the whole game was going off is because I was in the process of making money, I was in the process of helping people. There were a lot of people who were making crores and lakhs and millions of rupees just because of us. And I knew that they are thankful for it, they're grateful for it. The whole process was so amazing. But the only thing I was going through is it the end? Like, that's it. But he can't puri life. Like what people do till the age of 50, I've done at 25. So now what about the next 25 years? Like, is this the only thing? And I went through like multiple questions in my life. I did all of that. And I started feeling a thrill out of my life is going out. You remember the Amazon job? It was the best thing in the world technically for 18-year-old. But the thrill was not there. Progress was not there. And then I felt like we have destroyed every competition that we had. We were on a 4 lakh per day ad spend consistently that none of competitions were. We were technically monopoly in the market because there were 72 people in a 40 lakh plus GST mastermind. You can do the calculations for yourself. We had a total team across all the companies of 255 employees. I had a bank account which never went, I think, personal I'm talking about, below 1.2 CR in a whole year. Like imagine I bought a house, I bought a car, I bought another flat for my team. We're getting an office. There's thousands, like lakhs of salaries going, but my account has not gone below 1.2 CR, right, in personal. And all of this is happening and you're like, whoa, wait a second. And all of these luxuries, all of this comfort, all of this fame, impact, thrill, you being on stage and thousands of people clapping, like all of that is there, but my thrill is gone. Like there's nothing to fight for because we are a monopoly. And what should I do now? Like I know how to crack a funnel, I know how to crack the marketing, the sales, the operation, the finance, the lead. Like I know everything of the thing that I try to help the customer off. But what do I do now? Like I'm bored. And if I do something else, I may be left behind because my competitors are trying to catch up. So what do I do in this case? And that's when I feel the thrill was gone. The questions of life started to come off. And that's when a shift happened. So why did ads stop? Number one reason, we got operationally bored. We monopolied the market. We got to a situation where we had too many problems that we were solving and now we are not solving. We got so bored that we killed it off. Same things every time. Most of the things are automated. So there's nothing new for me to improve. So I thought one day that why not just shut off the ads and be like, I don't want to do this. Number two, our goal changed. We had the plan of making money and helping people. But I made the money, but my team did not. So the goal changed to how can we retire the team as well. So all the people who were there with me for the past 3-4 years, now it's time for them to retire because they've helped me throughout the journey when I was nothing. So the whole game has changed to how can we retire them. So we need a new model which can help them retire. And number three, I wanted to play the pseudo retired game because the reason you start a business is because you want to get retired, but in the process you create another treadmill for you, which is a rat race to keep on making new money. So combining all of this, I thought it's the time to stop ads because kahin jaane ke liye kahin se guzarna padta hai. And I thought if I stop ads, I'll crack a model. If I don't stop ads, I'll be complacent enough and lazy enough to not crack something. So we stopped ads. It took us 4 or 5 months, but we cracked something out and it was called O8. And now you would be thinking, what on earth is O8? Well, O8 is a venture studio that takes royalty and equity percentage inside a brand and hyperscales it till the time they are in our portfolio. Even simpler language, you basically have a company We take a small percentage in that company, let's say 20%, 30%, whatever it is, and then we hyperscale them. Like by hyperscaling, I mean like in months you get scales of years. One of the brands that we took was doing 4 lakhs a month, and right now doing 35 lakhs a month in 6 months. Like that fast I'm talking about, while building systems, team, culture, everything at the same time. You might be thinking like, why did I transition to O8 from a coaching business? Well, there are 3 reasons.
Point number 1, we were getting paid on our conversion rate. The more we convert, the more money we make. But now we want to get paid on our success rate.
We used to be very good at conversions, and we used to be very good at success rate as well. That means the amount of people who buy the product and then I eventually get a success out of it. And if you're talking about like, oh, we can help you scale, we can help you become big, like charge percentage. Like why are you charging them on front end? And I was doing that thing, and this idea came, which was like, if you're really so good, why don't we charge percentages? And that's what the discussion we had in the team. And we were like, let's do it. And that's when we started O8, and we got some initial acquisitions. In the past 6 to 9 months, we have acquired around 16 companies, and we just want to disrupt and be like, we work for free, we make you big, you pay us a commission.
Number 2, we wanted to have lot of clients, lakhs of clients, which we got. But now we wanted to work on how can we get least number of clients and work with less number of people.
When you run a coaching business, volume is the game. I have an email list of 4 lakh plus people. And when you're playing on that level, you have like 5 support team members, 6 business coaches, big team, operational headache and all of that. At that time, it was like how much volume we can get. The more volume we get, the bigger we are. But here the game is opposite. Less is more. The less number of clients I have, the more I can focus on them, the bigger we can go.
And lastly, what results O8 has generated? Well, we have got to a AUM in the total valuation of 110 crores in just 9 months.
We have 3,800 video testimonials. Technically, every big coach in India has been trained under IC in some way, shape or form. We have awarded, I don't know how many people. We have uncountable screenshots. We have 100 plus case studies uploaded on YouTube of people who have done, in less than 90 days, more than the money that they paid. But then we were like, can we make the same results in O8? And that's when we started. And total volume revenue of all the startups would be around 2.5 crores. And the reason we started this is because I heard this line, which is, you should not work on beating your competition, you should work on eliminating your competition. Now you might be thinking what to anticipate. Well, the first thing is I'll put a form down below in the video. You can basically fill out the form if you want to be partner with O8. We have a very long process of taking someone. We have 1800 people in ISEX. I've only onboarded 3 from that. Very hard. We just don't work with anyone. We are very, very, very selective. If you don't even get a reply from us, it's very normal because your form was not qualified enough. As simple as that. Just keep on applying because we cannot work with a lot of people. Maybe 1 in 2 months that we work with to acquire with because we use our resources with them, which cost us a lot of money, and not a lot of people can do that. Earlier, I used to charge money to make money. Secondly, if you're not on that position, simply join ISEX, scale your business to a bit, and then we can help you go from there. That's what the whole idea is. Now, what to anticipate from now on is this YouTube channel becoming bigger and bigger. This is the first video, and I hope this was valuable to you. We have a lot of things lined up. I'll add some B-rolls over here. Going to be a crazy journey. A lot of value on your way. We have already done Instagram content pretty much good. Now we are getting on YouTube as well, and we will be playing the content game. So thank you so much for watching this. If you found value in this, share it with someone who you think can be a good part of our acquisition and would get value from this video. Thank you so much for watching.